Hey there YouTube, Lazarus Hawthorne here again. Felt like doing a survival video today. Now some of you might be looking at what I'm wearing and going, the hell is he wearing? Everybody's got their own survival kit, their own survival gear. Stuff that people like to wear to when they go out, you know, either to do some prepping practice or even just for a hike. Now, some of you people like to use MOLLE gear, tactical gear, which is fine, but the problem I see with it in terms of a prepping scenario is that it's going to be a huge red flag. If I see you walking around in tactical gear, I'm going to know you're prepared, I'm going to know you're armed, and you're probably not going to be very friendly to me. So me, in my own safety, I'm either going to completely avoid you, or if my gear's running a little low, I might take you out so I can take what you have. In terms of a hiking scenario, this for me gives me everything that I need for a hiking setup. So let me go through a little bit of what I have here. So first things first, I have the knife here, which is one of the knives I've made myself. So here you can see a little bit better what it looks like. Just a simple blade with a cloth handle, fits nicely in my hand, and gives me something to work with. The thing I like about this blade is that it gives me a blade that's nice and thick, as you can see here, to really do some utility work with it, and it actually is pretty sharp and holds a nice edge. But on this side, you'll also notice that I have another blade. This blade, because I gotta change out the sheath, which I haven't had a chance to do yet, it's much longer. I consider this more of my self-defense, as well as maybe some more finesse style work. The blade is much narrower, as you can see, and is much sharper than my knife is, because I gave my knife more of a utility grind. A utility bevel, sorry. Just put that down there. Now, as you can also see, I have pouches. Now, the leather pouches are World War II German ammo pouches for the Mausers. I believe the Mausers. Now, in each of these, I carry various things. So, I have a whistle. If I get lost, I need something to blow so this way people can find me. And it's bright orange, so this way it's easy for me to find if I drop it on the ground. I also have in this pouch a compass. Pretty simple, just bare bones compass. I never really learned how to use the wire set up in it. I just use it for the actual compass piece. The next pouch I've got. Some of you might think this is a clock. It's actually not. The thing I like about this is an old piece. This is actually early 1900s. And if you look on the front of it, which I don't know if you'll see, it says have a, and it shows a picture of a swallow with me. And the reason it says that is because it is actually a cup. Now the nice thing about this is actually sterling silver, so I don't have to worry about, you know, whether or not it's going to rust or anything like that. It's just going to tarnish on me. And even then, that's not really going to affect me negatively in a long run scenario. The other thing I keep on me is you have to have a utility knife. You have to have a butterfly knife that has multiple things on it. As you can see, I have many things on mine. But I find it's always good to have one of these with you. Just as an added precaution, and because it fits in the same pouch, I have a razor knife, box cutter. Again, you never know what you're going to need. And plus, it doesn't really take up much room, and doesn't weigh too much. Now, this here, I don't know if you can really see it. I hope that helps you out. That there is a World War II French grenade pouch used to carry their grenades in it. I use it for old-fashioned telescope. Now, some of you might be looking at it going, come on now, you know, I can go to the store and buy a nice fancy pair of binoculars or a rangefinder, and you can. I'm not denying that. I'm not saying you can't do that. But I like to have something that I can at least look, just something to increase my vision and distance. Plus, kind of like old stuff. And this is made in 1915 in England. Personally, I think it adds a little bit of my own flair to this whole setup, and it does what I need it to do relatively easily. And it's pretty heavy-duty brass, so I don't need to worry too much about if I drop it accidentally or anything like that. I just gotta worry about the lenses inside. Let's see, what else do I got in here? I got some bandages, you know, just basic sheets that I've cut into strips. So this way, if I end up cutting myself or injuring myself, I got something to tie over the wound and stuff like that. I have a small bag here. Now, it's just a nylon bag, ain't nothing special. But I like having it on me just in case I find something that I want to keep with me. Maybe, you know, some piece of metal or a shell or a stone I find really interesting. Just like having the option of being able to carry something. Then we got over here. Now this, to those who might not realize what it is a 1950s replica of a 1920s trench lighter. So as you can see there, it's just a basic flint and lighter. Screw off the bottom, pour my fuel in the bottom. It's just like a Zippo, but it's just small and cylindrical, and it produces a very nice spark. And that seems to be pretty much it in terms of my pouches. Now, if you look here, you'll also see that I have this handy dandy little leather roll. Looks nice, but it also contains various tools that I found quite indispensable in my prepping practice. Rolls open, just like that. Now inside I've got lock picks, because you never know when you're going to come across a padlock, a door lock, something like that. Something that, you know, when you end up encountering it in the survival situation, you realize, crap, I need to get inside here. This gives me the option to get in there quietly. I also have in here, just in case the situation actually calls for it, I have a pair of scissors. Just something nice and simple that allows me to cut whatever I need to cut at the time. I got a fake skeleton key here, kind of came with the pouch, but I use it as a weight, you know, for if I'm fishing and I need to weigh the line down. Here's one that's actually pretty fun to play with. It's a magnifying glass. Now, some of you might be going, what's the point of the magnifying glass? Well, if you've ever watched anything survival, they tell you how you can use a magnifying glass to actually heat a certain spot on the tinder and be able to generate fire. Some of you might have also done this while you were playing, while you were frying some ants in your backyard. I got a nice little hammer here, just something small that I can tap with. So I can use it to crack open nuts, various other things. It's got a nice little angled edge on the back here, so I can actually get a good crack into it. It's got a little hook on the end, so this way I can actually hang it from something if I have to. This here, I believe it's another thing that came with the pouch. I believe it was meant to be a saw, but I like it because it allows me to actually just kind of poke stuff. It gives me a little extra reach into small holes, and plus I can use it to, you know, dig stuff out. I can heat it, and if I have an injury on my arm or something like that, I can press it to the wound to burn it closed, to cauterize it. And the final part is just something similar to what I just showed you. Again, came with the pouch. I kind of like it because I kind of like this set because it has these nice little accents to it. But again, it's just something else that I can heat and press or poke and gouge at. And that's pretty much it for the. Oh, sorry about that. I thought I felt something slip out of my pocket. I also carry a pair of tweezers. Just something small. This way, if I have to pick something, a splinter or something from myself, I can actually pull it out and stuff like that. You know, so these are the things that I keep with myself. Now, if you see somebody dressed like I am, somebody wearing this leather gear, you're definitely going to think I'm weird. You're definitely going to think I'm odd, out of place. Maybe one of those people who really wanted this to happen. And you wouldn't be too far off. But you're not going to instantly assume that I'm a threat. Or at least I hope you, my thought process says that you're not going to instantly assume I'm a threat. If I see someone coming at me in battle fatigues, with Molly gear on, and you know, the whole camouflage ghillie suit going, I'm going to assume they're a threat, that they're going to harm me and my kin, and that they need to be removed. Somebody like me, if I see somebody dressed like me, I'm still going to be cautious. I'm still going to give them a wide berth, but I'm not going to be as willing to attack them because they might just be trying to survive like I am. And if I watch them for a little while and I feel they're not a threat, I might even attempt to communicate with them to trade. So, as I was saying, pretty pretty much, just think about what you're wearing. Think about what the gear you have on you says to those who are looking at you from outside. So one of the rules I'm going to cover here is, I call it my rules of 3. There's 3 things you should have on you at all times in some form. A knife, a source of fire, and a compass. Now, as you already saw in my belt gear, I have that. I have my compass, I have 2 knives, and I have several forms of fire starting. The one that I didn't have on here, for some reason, I believe I took it out for another reason, was just another magnesium striker. In my pockets at all times, whether I'm working, whether I'm biking, riding, just sitting in my house watching TV, I always have a knife and a fire starter in my pockets at all time. Just how I like to have it. I always have them on me. If you come find me at Gander Mountain in Middletown, I'll show you those right out of my pocket at any moment. But one of the things, the next steps is that I like to have it in my bag as well. So the rule of 3 is simple. These 3 items need to be on you in 3 levels. In your bag, on your belt, and in your pockets. So in my bag, I have a knife, a fire starter, and a compass. On my belt, I have a knife, a fire starter, and a compass. In my pocket, I have a knife and a fire starter. I'm working on getting a small compass that fits nicely in my pocket. But there's also a 4th spot you should have these, but not in a physical form, in your mind. You need to be able to know on a moment's notice how to start a fire, how to make a blade or something to cut with, and how to find your direction. You can't do these 3 things. If you find yourself in a situation where you have nothing, maybe somebody has taken these things from you, maybe you've lost them, maybe something has taken your clothes and you're now naked in the forest. You need to be able to know how to make a blade, how to make a fire to stay warm, and how to find where you are, to know your direction. These are things that every survivalist needs to learn. And in other videos, I'm going to show you different methods on how to do these things. I'm going to do a video on how to make fire. I'm going to do a video on how to find the direction of the sun pretty easily. So this is my gear. Sorry, this is my gear, and here's pretty much all of it displayed on a nice handy-dandy background surface. And again, the things I'm telling you guys, it's not end-all be-all. I'm not saying that I have all the answers, that my way is the right way. Anybody ever tells you that, you tell them goodbye, because there's no such thing as the end-all be-all right way. So thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe. Please share my videos. I'd really love to make this my livelihood, to be able to help and teach you guys how to better survive in different situations, no matter what it is. So like I said, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.